Coming up on the Pro Wrestling Show, newly crowned WWE Champion Randy Orton finds himself in a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? With Drew McIntyre, former champion, and the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, who hasn't forgotten what Randy Orton done to him way back when. In Survivor Series qualifying matches from the men's team, from the women's team, as well as for SmackDown. And SmackDown kick off with a historic women's championship match between Sasha Banks and Bayley. Former best friends clash out in the beginning of SmackDown, as well as selecting Team Raw, Team SmackDown, and then bidding war for qualifying matches. And on NXT Ring Report, NXT, well, a whole bunch of stuff on NXT where the Undisputed Era tries to, where are the Undisputed Era against Pat McAfee and his newly alliance with the Tag Team Champions, Burchill and many others. All this and more, and plus hot topics, as Paige says that her ex, many people are speculating that it was Alberto El Patron, had physically abused her, as well as WWE superstars with the COVID situation and another superstar from MLW stricken with COVID. All this and more on the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Pro Wrestling Show, on your Sunday edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. Hey, this is Kendrick Dix here telling you we're here. Another week. Start of another week. But first thing first, join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe is here. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You won't miss a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Like I said, Pro Wrestling Show here. And I'll also go back to the archives if you want to watch we did for AEW. No AEW Ring Report this week. We did one for the predicted outcome, laying out the outcome and the predictions of Full Gear. Well, a tremendous card Full Gear was. Many of my predictions didn't come true. Some of them did, some of them didn't. I thought Cody was going to retain the TNT Championship. That didn't happen. I thought, the Young Bucks was going to lose it, be like Cody. That didn't happen. But men like MJF in the inner circle, that was eventually going to happen. John Moxley retains world title with Eddie Kingston. Who else? What's his name? Kenny Omega become number one contender. So, and here I thought she was going to lose it. Now Rose. I was wrong again. So, here I go. All right. We'll get to all that, but let's get to the SmackDown report. All right, the Ring Report this week. SmackDown kicked off with a women's championship match as the newly crowned women's champion Sasha Banks, who has a record that when she wins a championship, she loses it at her first title defense. Well, Sasha proved the haters and the naysayers wrong, and the detractors. Sasha went against former champion Bayley, who held the record for the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. Sasha Banks and Bayley went through it tooth and nail. But at the end, Sasha Banks emerged victorious, retains the SmackDown Women's title over Bayley by submission, and was attacked all of a sudden by the returning Carmella, which you could have saw that coming when Sasha was on there. Everybody said, look, Carmella. Carmella came out there, super kicked her, and did the face buster. So look for a feud between these two lovely ladies coming forward for the SmackDown Women's title. Also, King Corbin went one-on-one against Rey Mysterio. King Corbin tried to use that sneak ambush attack. Rey Mysterio still trying to focus on his family matters with daughter Leah and Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins in that situation. Well, Rey got too distracted with all that in his match, in a qualifying match. He lost to King Corbin due to the help of Seth Rollins, costing the match. But Rey loses. Well, that means King Corbin adding on to Team SmackDown. King Corbin back on Team SmackDown like he was last year. Also, another women's qualifying match. But this time, Natalya kept airing her grievances to WWE official Adam Pearce about she was this close of being on the team. But greatness just pulled her aside. So Adam Pearce gave her another opportunity, put her in another match where she was in a triple threat match against Ruby Riott and Zelina Vega. Natalya had the match won. She put Zelina Vega over the sharpshooter, and then Ruby Riott all of a sudden had her crossface with Ruby Riott. The referee saw Ruby Riott, and Ruby Riott won her spot on the women's team SmackDown. So Ruby Riott getting a spot, well deserved. So Ruby Riott going forward with that. Also, Seth Rollins with some help from Murphy, who seems to get back in line with him as we thought. Well, Seth Rollins went against Otis for a qualifying match. Seth Rollins got dismantled by Otis. I guess they dropped the ball with Otis and Tucker. What's going on with that? How you gonna explain that? They was gonna start a feud, but I don't know what's going on with that. Tucker was on Raw, now he's on Raw, so we'll talk about that. But Seth Rollins get the win with the help of Murphy. And Leah asked him what's going on with Murphy. Told him he knows what he's doing. So look for something's going to happen between that. Seth Rollins believing that Murphy is on his side again. And Leah kind of wondering what's going on. But Seth Rollins is added to Team SmackDown. And you got to know that probably Seth Rollins may be team captain going forward on Team SmackDown. Also, Lars Sullivan spoke with Michael Cole, what he did last week. He spoke with Corey Graves about him being a freak. Michael Cole asked him, kept repeating himself about the freak. Lars spoke how he was bullied his whole life, and that's why he wanted to cause this chaotic destruction. But Lars Sullivan making it seem and point known to the quick that Lars Sullivan is a beast to be reckoned with regardless. So we have to see on that. And then finally, Jey Uso went against Kevin Owens after Jey Uso was set for an interview with Kayla Braxton. And Kevin Owens asked Jey Uso, Frank, are you being brainwashed by Kevin Owens? Are you being told by Kevin Owens, by Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, what to do? You could tell Jey was kind of irritated. He really didn't want to do it, but he has to do it because he has to fall in line or something. Like his kids and his grandkids won't be able to sit on the table with Roman. Well, Roman gave Jey the ultimatum to shut KO mouth up, and Jey went against KO. He won the match. He beat KO by an inch with Paul Heyman out there. And Paul Heyman had to clean up the mess. That was it. So look for that as they embrace. So Jey going forward, trying to embrace Roman's ways and Roman's ideology going forward. And Roman Reigns got an important match too in Survivor Series when he goes against fellow world champion and Raw's WWE champion Randy Orton. So it's going to be real interesting to see at Survivor Series. All right, that is the SmackDown Ring Report. Let's move over to the Raw Ring Report. On the Monday Night Raw Ring Report, Raw kicked off with a promo for Randy Orton. Said he's no longer the Legend Killer. He's going to be going forward as the Legend. Oh, God, since he's a WWE champion and stuff. So Drew McIntyre came out there, attacked him, and Alexa Bliss came out there, and Orton was anticipating the Fiend. Instead, The Miz tried to cash in on Orton like he did 10 years ago. Drew McIntyre took him out with a Claymore kick and said the only person that's going to take the title from Randy Orton is going to be him. So that's going to be good going forward. Also, Jeff Hardy beats Elias by pinfall in a guitar on the pole match. These two been having waging war ever since SmackDown, since Elias believed that Jeff Hardy was the one that ran him over, but Jeff Hardy claimed his innocence and that wasn't him. We'll see. Also, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retained the women's tag team titles over Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke by submission. Nia Jax, them doing what they can do best. Beat up women. And also, United States champion Bobby Lashley went against R-Truth, and R-Truth was talking them shenanigans. And next day, you know, he beats up Drew Gulak, who was trying to make a attempt, who was trying to capitalize and win the 24/7 championship. After taking Gulak out, Lashley had to do that submission. Lashley accidentally placed Gulak on R-Truth by allowing him to win the 24/7 title anyway. Bobby Lashley got mad, upset, and just went off. I think Bobby Lashley looking forward to his match at Survivor Series when he represents Raw's U.S. champion and go against the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn from SmackDown. And then you think about it, Sami Zayn been talking smack about Bobby Lashley's friend Donald Trump, who represented him at WrestleMania. Wow, Lashley can take and get some revenge retribution over President Trump. We'll talk about what's going on with him on Hot Topic. I think so. Bickering is promoting from AJ Styles, calls himself the Raw's team captain. Braun Strowman went one-on-one against Sheamus and Keith Lee in a triple threat match. They didn't, and when you add Braun Strowman, chances are you're going to win. Well, Braun was part of Team SmackDown. They didn't win so good, and Braun's track record speaks for himself when he's been on Team Raw. So, like I said, in a triple threat match to earn a spot on Team Raw, Braun Strowman wins. Braun Strowman might be the trajectory to get Team Raw. Right. Speaking of that, so you got AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Sheamus all on Team Raw. So it's gonna be a monster match going forward and stuff. Also, Nia Jax, Women's Tag Team Champion, won the unfinished business with Lana. She went against Lana. Lana and her had a decent fight, but Nia Jax gonna dominate on Lana. And Nia Jax won by the Samoan drop and decided to put Lana through the table again for the 7th time. Will 8 be the charm this week on Raw? We'll find out and see. Also, the Hurt Business went against the Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, in a non-title match by pinfall. So the Hurt Business looking forward to probably no contenders for the Raw Tag Team titles. But The New Day got to worry about the Street Profits, who they last saw on the draft when they switched the championships around. When they was drafted for the respective championships. And then I think the Street Profits was trying to get the inside skin on how to beat the New Day with Big E still on SmackDown. Big E said, I'm not going to tell you how y'all going to beat them. Big E knows better than that. Also, Ricochet beat Tucker by pinfall. Ricochet told Tucker that he didn't respect him while he did the oldest. And Tucker said, you taking fault with me, then it is what it is. And then Retribution beat both of them down. So Retribution, Mustafa Ali and Ricochet have their feud going forward with that. And also, Drew McIntyre went against The Miz and John Morrison in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Drew did all he did the leaps and did the bounds, did the Claymore kick on Miz and Morrison. I look for Drew. Ended up being on Survivor Series. That's probably team captain going forward, that 5th and final member of Team Raw. All right. That is the Raw Report. When we return, we'll have hot topics. We'll talk about what current WWE superstars think about this week's election, where WWE Hall of Famer and current U.S. President Donald Trump is set to leave office, whether he likes it or not. We'll talk about that. And Paige and Alberto Del Rio physical domestic dispute. And which superstars had caught COVID and stuff. All this and more. The Pro Wrestling Show returns in a minute. The Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Ken Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Hit that subscribe button. Subscribe. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. And don't forget to use the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect, where we talk about content for you, the Pro Wrestling audience. We make content for you, the Pro Wrestling audience out there. That's what we do here on the Pro Wrestling Show. All right. We'll get to the NXT ring report later on, and no AEW ring report because we had talked about on Predict Outcome for Full Gear. All right. Let's get to Some sad news. Some sad news to report right now. Breaking news right as we speak. WWE, well, WWE issued a statement on the passing of Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek, known for Jeopardy, the Jeopardy host for a long time, for almost 35 years, has passed away at the age of 80, and he died from pancreatic cancer. And Alex Trebek, earlier this year, throughout the months before his final days, was talking about he was going to beat it. Unfortunately, he succumbed to it, and Alex Trebek will be missed. Many people will not realize and remember that Alex Trebek participated at WrestleMania. You recall WrestleMania 7 in 1991. Alex Trebek, along with another person who we dearly miss, who passed away this year too, Regis Philbin, were WrestleMania celebrities. And you can tell Alex Trebek and Regis Philbin felt at home at WWE. Alex Trebek was a backstage interviewer. Regis was a backstage interviewer. Marlon Maples at the time was interviewing as well. And Alex Trebek ring announced during the WWE Championship match between Hogan and Slaughter. He will be missed. Regis will be missed. Man, everyone's leaving, but the good Lord got him. The good Lord is gonna, I know when the good Lord, when they say the good Lord got you, he got you where he wants you. That's where the good people. What? Hold on one second. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. Who was that number? Someone had called me. Yeah.
Hey, what?
I said, who was that number? Someone else was trying to call me.
I don't know.
It was like a 714 number or something.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. I thought it was grandma.
716?
Let me see.
672?
Let me see. Oh, let me see. No, 714. Oh, I thought it was grandma.
Somebody probably trying to call you for a job or something. I don't know.
I answered. Nobody didn't pick up. Yeah. Well, when Drake is supposed to come get the stamp?
I don't know. She called for some money now.
And she posted her tears and stuff.
Oh, that will probably have our contest Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, both of you.
Oh, okay.
All
All right.
Let's see what you're talking about.
All right. Yeah, Alex Trebek will be missed, and he will, to his family, his friends, and his fans, our condolences and extend honor to Alex Trebek at this time. Also, Alberto Del Rio reacts to reports that Paige normally saying that he was the one that physically abused her. Del Rio came on there to TMZ and said that no, it was just the other way around. I have the evidence. No, just words. He kept saying that Paige making up stuff, and he got proof. Alberto Patron and a lot of stuff going on with him earlier this year, almost with kidnap charges and abuse. So we just hope, since they're not together no more, stuff like that. We gotta take stuff like this serious. I mean, serious to the T. Also, AEW announced that they're going to be coming back with their pay-per-view Revolution February 27th. So AEW coming back with another pay-per-view, the first pay-per-view of 2021. By the time the president come in. Speaking of president, WWE Hall of Famer and current U.S. president, the 45th president of the United States, Donald Trump, lost the election presumptively to Joe Biden, and Donald Trump doesn't feel like he's not leaving. He's going to contest it, but a couple of superstars feel the same way, the same sentiments and stuff, thinking that the president, like one tweet was Sami Zayn saying to let the doorknob hit you on the way out. Wow. All right, don't be shocked. Speaking of that, the USPOT notifies WWE trademark banment for Brock Lesnar. And then WWE was trying to get the trademark Brock Lesnar. It was unsuccessfully because they couldn't have Lesnar to give his consent at the time, but you know how that go and stuff. So with that issue. And finally, MLL star 50-time Lauren has posted that he has coronavirus and he wants to quarantine himself. So our best to 50-time Lauren on his condition. Hope he safely gets beats the virus and gets quarantined and stuff. All right. Well, let's get back to the N's hot topics. Let's get back to the NXT hot topic, NXT Ring Report. The NXT Ring Report this week. NXT Ember Moon went against Dakota Kai in a one-on-one match. Dakota Kai defeated Ember Moon by pinfall. Oh, that's it. Kushida defeated Cameron Grimes by submission. Cameron Grimes still having the after effects of that match against, what's his name? Forgot his name, but you know what I'm talking about. I forgot, Sam Saul or something. Also, Pat McAfee, Pete Dunne, Danny Burke, Only Logan in a row match between Overrise and Killian Dane during a double disqualification. McAfee then cut a promo afterwards about how they're the best group in NXT and they're going to burn the Undisputed Era banner. Dane attacked them, but Dunne took him out with a car door and left. So look for this to happen between them and the next NXT pay-per-view for War Games. Undisputed Era goes against McAfee and his associates. Also, Johnny Gargano talked about how he has no problem with wheels and has made history to become the first two-time North American champion. He then beat Ghostface on board the Game Life. I don't know what that was about. Also, Tony Storm with that, you know what, that the Badunkadunk defeated Chauncey Blackheart by pinfall. After the match, Candice LeRae vowed to get revenge, and she wanted revenge on Chauncey Blackheart, what Chauncey did to her. And she revealed that she stole Chauncey's tank and ran all over it. And you can see the look in the horrified face of Chauncey Blackheart, crushed, defeated, as her tank got ran over by Candice LeRae. Jake Atlas went against Lyle D5 Tasman in the parking lot. You know, young with that situation. Also, Timothy Thatcher had another submission expedition. This time with a king. Anthony Green came out to fight with Thatcher. Anthony Green. And I guess, you know, Timothy Thatcher took it too hard, took it too tough on Anthony Green and stuff. Also, Azia Lee asked General Manager William Regal for a match against Raquel Gonzalez next week. So, you know, there you go. And Tommaso Ciampa defeated Velveteen Dream by pinfall. Hard-fought matchup. Dream not doing his best work, but you know how that go. All right, that ends NXT Ring Report. Only thing was great was just the Undisputed Era and Pat McAfee, who's become a better heel and a better talker than ever before. So look for that. All right, that is our pro wrestling show. We'll talk to you more about anything else. We'll have more pro wrestling news and ring reports for next week. I've been your host, Ken Dixon, and so long. We'll see you next week for another edition. See you later.